Hello and welcome. My name is Bilal Akil, and today we have another episode about drawing and painting. Not necessarily how to, but just kind of appreciating the nature and being in the garden. Perhaps it's useful on this episode to show you around what I'm seeing, so I kind of spin the camera around. Let's have a look around. It's a lovely palm tree that's kind of planted here, quite short and stumpy. That looks lovely. And then around there, we have some lovely small trees and smaller kind of pines and lovely mansions behind. So that's the kind of scene there. So let's see. I brought my fountain pen today. It's a Japanese fountain pen, and I thought I'd kind of draw something. And also write. I tend to write with this pen. The feel on this paper feels rough. The ink that I'm using is Sumi ink, and what it is, it's used Sumi ink. So I wanted to kind of draw with it. I don't know if it. My works kind of are abstract, so let's kind of see. I'm going to have a go, and I just want to. I'm inspired just to draw this palm tree, and this ink will take its own kind of form, as will this writing may even disappear. So how's your day going today? How are you keeping? What are your thoughts on this episode? Please do let me know in the comment section below. I'm grateful for everybody that's commented so far. Thank you very much for doing that. It's very difficult to actually draw with this pen. I thought perhaps it's the paper. Normally I can draw with this pen, but it depends. The paper has to be a bit more smoother. It's a writing pen, not designed necessarily for drawing, but because it was available, I thought, why not? I wanted to kind of play around with the ink. It's drawing some trees in the background. This has become a bit more landscapey, and that would be it. Now let's see what we could do with this. Now we've got our watercolor brush here. I've got another brush as well that I might be using. Let's see how it reacts to the ink. Oh, it's good. It's kind of washing off kind of whatever we have before. Now let's see if we can get some kind of darks in purple. Okay, let's go with that. That's interesting. The wind is blowing. Nice, really fresh air in London today. The weather has changed. Lovely to hear the sounds in the background of people speaking. This is just purple. I don't have any particular colours. I just look down at the palette and just think, okay, what could I do this for? And then let's see what we have. There's some, perhaps the brick mansions that we have, the Mayfair mansions in the back, kind of make a featured appearance. Let's see, perhaps we can add a bit of yellow to kind of lighten up. Oh, it's gone a bit too light. Perhaps more of a lemon might be perhaps appropriate. The thing is, as I tend to paint freestyle and mix directly on the paper, which is one style of painting. You can do that, but then you do have to live with the consequences of kind of the colours that are on here that kind of appear that you don't always have control over. And sometimes I quite like not having kind of any direct control over what I'm doing. It has its own kind of form of dialogue really with the kind of with the work, and then with me. I felt like putting a kind of a bit more of a lighter green. I said I wouldn't be perhaps responding to colours that are immediate. Just perhaps a bit more darker purples, I don't know. It's quite like having that kind of brushstrokey kind of feel there. And when the colours dry, they kind of also kind of take on their own form of whatever colour they have. Let's see, mixing a few blues on the paper, becoming green. So yellows and blues there, going over the writing. Perhaps I might put some more writing on this. I tend to write with this pen. The feel of this paper feels rough. It's quite interesting. Quite a random statement. Lovely passerbys. People are very pleasant. It's nice to have the kind of ink and then be pushed kind of right in the distance, so it looks quite faded. Let's see what else we could do with the colours. I've kept the palette quite limited. I haven't brought my kind of very vibrant kind of palette out just right now. I might do later on. Let's see. I wanted to kind of control what I'm doing. I might bring in like pastels perhaps later on, but for now I think let's see what we have. I'm just feeling putting in a like bit of a blue that works quite nicely with the mood. It is a not totally blue skies, it's kind of cloudy. Oh, that's an interesting blue. Really interesting. Perhaps we can have some blue here. It's got more of a Caribbean type of feel given the colours, which would kind of remind me of kind of like mangoes. It's got that kind of exotic feel. When you look at a palm tree, it's exotic, you know. I mean, and it's interesting that you kind of have a palm tree here, because you're in London, it's a cold country, not one for kind of having palm trees. And so, it you know, it is quite interesting and unique to have it here. It's something I really appreciate by painting it and drawing it. Obviously, a few of my episodes are sponsored effectively by this palm tree. What will happen when the watercolor dries, you might see the ink then come out a little bit, and I quite like the patterns that are formed by the watercolor. The nice thing about watercolor is its flexibility. It's quite tactile, and then it has its kind of own kind of language of its own. You leave it there and you get this kind of nice kind of marks, these watermarks. Each medium has its own thing. Oh, that looks quite interesting. I think what makes it interesting is that blob of kind of magenta, kind of deep red that I've put in. I just wonder if I should have a bit more kind of there, adding a bit more blue on there. Let me know what you think of this. It's a very calm, quiet morning in London. I tend to like painting early on in the morning, but I can paint any time during the day. And if there is any kind of inspiration that you feel kind of to paint and draw, then I think we would recommend you to do so. So I think that's that work. I think we'll kind of stop that there. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Until next time, take care, goodbye.